Alright, hi everyone, this is Julie. I wanted to make this video talking about something that I've heard being brought up recently in some of the mom vlogs that I watch. I wanted to talk about some anxieties that moms have, or actually just like people in general, but I think once you become a mom, there's some more anxieties added to your regular anxieties. And I know some of this stuff because I experience anxiety myself, because I've been diagnosed with depression for quite a while now, probably a few years actually. Yeah. Yeah. And I've noticed that since being off medication, I used to take Zoloft, and I had been taking that since shortly after I moved out of the house. I actually moved out right before I was 18, so I've been taking it since then up until like the day I found out I was pregnant. I did not take my dose at all, which I know can be kind of dangerous to just up and quit taking your depression medication like that, so I don't really recommend doing that. But anyways, so I've noticed since I've stopped taking it, and especially going through this postpartum time, I mean, Ben is 8 months old now, so it's not like just postpartum, but I've noticed that some of my depression things have gotten worse in some ways, and some of them have gotten better in other ways. Like, I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain, especially to somebody who hasn't really experienced anxiety or depression, or anything like that. I think some of the ways that my depression has gotten worse is that, you know, I'm depressed that, you know, I haven't been able to find the job that I went to school for, and that depresses me because, I mean, I went to school so I could get a good job so I could help better support my family. And as a mom, you want to provide everything you can for your child, and you want to do everything for them that you weren't ever able to do yourself. At least that's the way I feel. Not that I was really deprived of any necessities or anything, but I just don't want him to really want for some of the things that he deserves, you know. I don't want him spoiled either. This is so hard to explain. And then, so I get really worried. I mean, I worry about some financial things, especially with having the baby. Like, I can go without buying myself new things, and, you know, I can go without going to restaurants and movies and things like that. But, I mean, I worry about being able to make sure that Ben has everything. Like, I'm like, oh, you know, are we going to have enough money in our checking account to, you know, buy him his Christmas gifts, which is past already now, and, you know, and of course everything worked out fine, you know. I mean, it's tight, yes, but we get by. But when you have this depression and anxiety about it, you think about it and you obsess over it, and it's not just over things like money. It's like, are things clean enough for him? I worry about that a lot, and since becoming a mom, I have totally had to lessen my standard on some of these things, because I kind of can be OCD about certain things. Like, I would never let the bathroom be dirty, really. Like, I would clean the toilet like every 2 days, even though it wasn't really dirty. I mean, you know, I was always vacuuming and always constantly like disinfecting everything, and now I want everything to be totally disinfected. I don't want him to get sick, but some of these things I just don't have time. Like, even though I stay at home, I mean, I'm trying to do just so many other things. I'm looking for jobs and stuff like that. It's just so hard, and it's like, I don't even know. But I get anxious about it, you know. I hate feeling like things are dirty, and I don't want my son to be in a dirty environment, and it's gross because it's in my own house, and ugh, drives me nuts. But yeah, So those are just some of the ways that it's gotten worse. Oh, and one more major one is when I'm in the car, when I'm driving. I consider myself to be a pretty good driver and stuff, but I'm more worried now about all the other people than myself necessarily. I just get so anxious. Like, I feel like I drive like I'm a 90-year-old woman now sometimes, because I'm like, oh, I don't want them to hit me, and especially if they rear end me and Ben's in the back seat, like, I freak out. But anyway, and some of the ways that it's gotten better is that, you know, I can just let loose with him, you know. We do silly things and we jump around and we sing songs, and even though it's so silly and stuff, but it just makes him so happy, and I love that. It just warms my heart, and I kind of get a little emotional about it because it's just one of those things that is so precious. But yeah, it's one of those things that are so precious, and no one can ever take that away from you, and I love that. And so, I mean, it brings me a lot of joy, and I know that I have like a purpose to raise this beautiful baby and stuff, and I love it, and it just makes me so happy. And then some ways and other ways it's been better too is that, you know, when you have a baby with you, most of the time anyway, people are just more friendly. Like, they're not gonna just call you out bad names right in front of your kid usually. And it's not like I'm really rude to people, but you know, some people just have a bad day and they just take it out on the wrong person. And a lot of the times that happens to me because, I don't know, that just seems to be my luck, I suppose. But yeah, and in having the baby also, it brings you closer to some of your family members. Because, you know, everyone wants to come and hang out with you because you have the baby, and just you get to talking about more things, and no one wants to bring up things that you fight about really in front of the baby. So every time you do get together, it seems to be nice and calm and fun, and I like it that way. It makes me feel happy. I don't like all this fighting and stuff like that. So yeah, so and with all that being said, with having the depression and anxiety and stuff, and I've been off my medication, like I said, from the day that I found out I was pregnant to now. I'm not taking it now. I haven't since having him. But I will be honest with you guys, though, I am considering going back on it. And that's for a lot of different reasons. I mean, mostly it's just for myself, because of the times that I do have anxiety and stuff. Sometimes it just is so hard to manage it, you know. I mean, I've learned a couple of things that kind of help me deal with it, but I just think things would be more stable if I went back on my medication. But something that I am really nervous about, though, are all the side effects that you can get from taking a medication like Zoloft, or, you know, one of the other ones out there. I mean, for me, I didn't really experience a ton of side effects, but sometimes your mind, at least for me, it kind of just goes through this weird shift. Like, I feel happy, but then I don't know, it's just so hard to explain sometimes the things that it makes you feel. But I did notice that when I was taking it, I did seem to have more energy and I could sleep better. I have a huge sleeping problem. So yeah, I mean, the last few nights I've been up to 3 to 4 in the morning is by the time I actually fall asleep. So yeah, I was able to sleep, and I just felt like I had more energy during the day. And those kind of things are really important when you're a mom, because you don't want to be sluggish and stuff. Like, I want to be a happy, energetic mom for my kid, or kids in the future. So yeah, but some of the things that make me nervous to take it, other than the side effects, is well, I guess it is a side effect too, is just some weight gain. I noticed that after I started taking the medication, that's when I did start gaining weight, because pretty much all through high school and stuff I was always a petite person. I mean, I had some curves, like I always have had boobs and hips and whatever, but I didn't have big thighs really. I didn't really have much fat around my stomach or anything like that, and yeah, I used to be like, you know, 115, 120, 25 pounds, like always kind of within that range, and then I started gaining weight and stuff, and then it kind of just went up. And so now I'm kind of dealing with that issue now a lot more seriously. I've been going to the gym a lot, and that helps kind of with some of the depression in some ways. But yeah, I'm sorry this video is all over the place and it's probably going to be really long, but this is just some things that have been in my life for a long time, and I just wanted to talk about them because I've heard some people saying, like, does anyone else have these things and blah blah blah, and I'm just like, yes, like, why don't more people talk about these things? Like, depression is not some unheard of thing. Like depression, anxiety, panic attacks, like these things happen to people more often than I think people realize. Like, I don't know, just talking to some of my friends about it, like, I'm like, oh my gosh, that's happened to you too? And they're like, yeah, you know. And it doesn't matter of whether they're parents or not. These things can happen to anybody. Like, whether you're in college and high school or even older, sometimes these things just kind of come on and you have to deal with them. I mean, if you go with these things untreated for so long, kind of like I did, like I had some of these signs and symptoms probably just since middle school. If you go just untreated for so long, I mean, it can really just get to you and you can just break down, and that's happened to me a few times, and it's not fun. You know, it's not fun to deal with these things because life can be so much better, you know, when you get yourself all evened out and you kind of figure out some of the things to do to deal with these things. Like, for me personally, I definitely need to take time for myself. I need to get away from my husband sometimes. I need to get away from my parents, which is hard because we're living here now. And I just need some time away from Ben too, even though I love him with all my heart, but I crave some adult conversation. I miss hanging out with my friends and stuff, and so it's really important for me to do that sometimes. I try to at least once a week. And you know, we don't go out to clubs or anything like that. Even since I turned 21, which is, my birthday is next month. It's almost been a year. Of course, I was pregnant on my 21st birthday, but I have not gone to any club, really. Like, I've gone to a bar or two, but it's just not my scene, really. I mean, I'd like to go just to experience it, but we don't do things like that. Like, I'll go over to their apartment or something, and we'll just watch a movie, we'll talk, I mean, we'll just rant, you know, and sometimes we'll go to a restaurant and we'll have like a drink, like a sangria from Applebee's or something on a Thursday night where it's on special for $4. But yeah, I mean, I just need some simple things like that for me to keep my sanity. And going to the gym, I think some of the reasons why we picked the gym that we did is because they have a daycare. So even if I can't get someone to watch Ben, which he's only had a babysitter just a few times, and that's another thing of anxiety that I have. I'm anxious about other people watching him, even though I know that they're perfectly capable of doing it. It just freaks me out. But they have a daycare, and I can go in and see him and check on him if I feel anxious about it or something, and I love that. So, which we go to Max Fitness, by the way. It's a chain. They have some in the Midwest, East area, I think. So anyway, so yeah, but I need to do some of these things for myself to deal with this, and I highly suggest somebody else who's experiencing some depression and some anxieties that they learn to take some time for themselves. It is so important, you guys. And it's important to do some small things to pamper yourself too. Even though it might seem extravagant to some people, I mean, you need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of yourself mentally and physically, and I'm really starting to take that seriously. Like, my husband got me this thing that I've been wanting, this Clarisonic Mia. It's something that I've been wanting, and it's kind of expensive. It's $119, but it's a great skincare item, and I have noticed that it improves my skin, but besides that, I feel like it makes me look better, and for me, when I feel like I look better, it makes me feel better about myself, which is weird, but I mean, that's just how it is for me. I need to do something that I feel makes me look better, like wearing makeup. Like, my husband doesn't care if I wear makeup or not, but I wear it for me because it makes me feel good. And, you know, I need to take a minute to paint my nails every once in a while. I need to just take a nice long shower and actually get to shave my legs and stuff sometimes, instead of just hurrying and doing it as fast as I can. It's just so important. And this video is so rambly, but I hope somebody out there has learned something and know that they're not alone in experiencing depression and anxiety. And, you know, especially if you're a parent, I think it's so important that you get these things under control, because you need to be put together for your kid. Like, I don't think it's healthy for your kids to see you just down in the dumps and crying and stuff like that, even though it happens sometimes, yes. But if there's something that you can do to make it better so you can be the best parent you possibly can be, I really suggest doing it, whether that is taking some time out, having a girls' night, whatever else, doing some things to pamper yourself at home, or adding medication to the mix. I mean, I really feel like you should do what you need to do to make yourself the best you can be. So, I hope you guys learned something, and maybe learned something about me. So if anyone has some of these issues that they want to talk about, you can talk to me about it. Because I'm going through some things too, you know, so we're experiencing these things together. So anyway, that's all, and I will talk to you guys again soon. Bye.